102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:51, and Cheap Trick with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be a mix of sun and clouds today and tomorrow with a high of 35. It is 9 or 3 or could be anywhere in between.
I'm seeing 14 now, but I'm buying anything.
Why do we even bother?
I don't even know.
All right.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Well, USA Today did their annual ad meter poll to rank all 57 of this year's Super Bowl commercials. Think about that, 57 times 8 million.
That's, that's, the 7. It's a lot of money.
Here are the top 20. The first delivery, well, I'm not going to go through all 20 of these. First delivery by Budweiser. That's where the little, the foal rolls the keg of beer through the dirt.
Yes.
And into the bar.
That's right.
Lay's Little Farmer was number 2.
Uh-huh.
The Ultra Hustle, starring Catherine O'Hara and William Dafoe. The Mick Ultra commercial.
Little pickleball.
David and Dave, starring David Beckham and Matt Damon for the Stella Artois.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody. That's the NFL one, and Flag 50 for the NFL. Those rounded out the top 6.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know. Coming in last at 57 is Tubi's Z-Suite ad starring Lauren Graham. It's worth mentioning, though, that Kanye's Yeezy ad wasn't included in the roundup, probably because it didn't air nationally.
I can't imagine why. What could that guy have done to, say, got himself in any sort of trouble?
I have no idea. After seeing, there's no denying that Tom Cruise has been doing something to his face over the last several years.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was particularly evident during the Super Bowl intro video where he had a fuller, puffier face. So what's the deal? Some plastic surgeons who have not treated Tom gave their opinions because, that's where you go. You get the people who haven't treated him.
That's the best way to get medical information.
And a not always reliable British tabloid like the Daily Mail. That's where you get the experts from. The consensus is that he got filler in his cheeks plus Botox and laser skin resurfacing, which removes damaged skin layers. But the doctors did not think Tom underwent the knife or had any more invasive procedures. One of them said, quote, "I think the biggest thing with Tom is that he has historically aged pretty well. Except for his puffy face that he got from all the Botox."
But sometimes you just got to say, what the heck?
Yeah, you're right. Hey, that's you did that thing from the line from the movie that he was in.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But you didn't say the right word.
But that's what his dad said at the end. Sometimes you just got to say, what the heck?
Isn't that was a good callback, wasn't it?
I reach far back.
Before she made the Netflix movie Back in Action, Cameron Diaz took an 11-year hiatus from acting. Thank God. And she missed the whole #MeToo movement, so it was kind of a shock to see all the changes that came along with it. Cameron says, quote, "The industry is so different. I definitely have to say that Me Too changed everything. It's palpable. You walk onto the set, and it's just different."
Who is that?
That's Cameron Diaz. Yeah, it's different because you're old now.
Yeah, and all the people that were in the movies back then are no longer in the movies now.
She added, quote, "The level of security and safety you feel as a woman on set is now. I've never felt that before this film."
She's almost at the point now where she could star in something about Mary's grandma.
Yeah, they could have had babies 10 times over. And had, yeah. Well, what I always said about that MTV 16 and Pregnant show is eventually, I'm sure it's already happened, 32 and Grandma.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
A plane owned by Vince Neil from Motley Crue crashed into another aircraft on a runway at Scottsdale Municipal Airport. Vince wasn't on it, but his girlfriend was. There was one fatality, but it wasn't her. The Learjet 35A makes the Learjet 35B look like a paper airplane.
Sure does.
Was landing when it crashed into a Gulfstream 200 business jet yesterday afternoon, possibly due to failure of landing gear. Vince's girlfriend, Rain, suffered 5 broken ribs. She and a friend were traveling, and the friend she was traveling with were hospitalized. Some dogs they were traveling with also survived the crash. There's no word on the identity of the deceased or which plane he or she was on. You know, it's these people with their private jets crashing into each other.
Not to sound insensitive, but there's got to be some relief on Vince Neil's part that at least there was a crash that didn't involve him behind the wheel.
Well, I mean, you know, he's had his little history of accidents.
I'd say so.
Just small history of
Just a couple of vehicular homicides in the past.
horrible accidents. But hey, at least only one person died.
Right.
That's probably what he said. Hey, at least only one person died in the crash. Green Day is getting into the movie business. Okay.
When are they going to start getting into the music business?
Well, they're working towards it. I mean, they've had a few attempts at success over the years. They're producing a coming-of-age comedy inspired by their own early days of touring in a van. It's called New Year's Rev, and it stars Mason Thames from The Black Phone and Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsley from The Office. The movie will follow three best friends who pile into a van and head to L.A. because they mistakenly think they're opening for Green Day at a New Year's Eve concert. Billy Joe Armstrong says, "Van days rule. You drive all night and no sleep and then play a show for 10 kids in a basement of a friend's house 50 miles east of anywhere you can be heard. But you'll do it again because you're doing it with your bandmates who become your family, and it's unlike anything you've ever known. It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Yeah. Let the music and mischief ensue." Yeah, that was something he did years ago. He wouldn't do that today.
I don't think he even owns a van.
Well, he might own a van.
He doesn't need to own a van. He's probably got the, private jets flying him here and there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Each one in the band, all three of them, taking separate jets because they can't stand being with each other. Because even families don't get along after a while.
Didn't I say to you yesterday we don't do enough stories about Bryan Adams?
We don't.
Bryan Adams' show in Australia was canceled Sunday night because of a fatberg blocked the sewer system. A fatberg is a mass created by the mingling of fat, oil, and grease with non-biodegradable solids. Because you couldn't flush the Bryan Adams music down the toilet? Is that why you had to cancel the show?
I was going to say, what was Bryan Adams' music doing down there?
And, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to think of the name of the songs that he sang. Oh, Summer of 69, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Summer of 69.
Could he cut through that fatberg like a knife?
Probably could. That's gross. They showed that on Dirty Jobs one time.
It sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross. Kim Kardashian, like many other people, was amazed by all the performers that continued to come out of the black Buick GNX that Kendrick Lamar used on stage during his performance at Sunday's Super Bowl halftime show.
She must have something to say.
Oh my God, the last time I saw that much coming out of something dark and shiny at the big game was when Ray J pulled out of my tight end and covered me with his offensive slime in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
Caitlin?
I never got that done and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but we once played our own big game.
What'd you play?
Well, first we started things off with the loin toss. I actually got both heads and tails that night. Then your mother, while wearing stiletto heels, was flagged for unsportsmanlike spiking of the balls.
What else did you play?
What I'm trying to say is that she was called for unnecessary roughness, and I took a 1-yard loss across the face for roughing the spaffer. Have you ever roughed the spaffer before?
I think that's personal.
Oh, it was a performance of a lifetime, and that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
They came from Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Well, folks, the Super Bowl is over, and if you're anything like me, you must be wondering, what the hell else is there to do? The month of February can be a long month for sports fans, what with baseball, spring training, and March Madness several weeks away. So what's a sports fan like me supposed to do? Well, folks, you're in luck, because not only is this weekend All-Star Weekend in the NBA, tomorrow begins the Four-Nation Face-Off in the NHL. That's two great All-Star events, each with entirely new formats going on at practically the same time, while it's enough excitement to blow your damn face off. In the NHL, you'll have the 4 teams of All-Star players representing the 4 national teams. The United States, because it was our idea, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. The four-nation face-off will use a round-robin format in which teams will accumulate points based upon wins in regulation and overtime shootouts, which will then be decided in 10-minute-long 3-on-3 sudden death periods, followed by a shootout, with the two teams advancing then into the championship round. Now, in the NBA, you'll have 3 teams consisting of 24 all-star players and 1 team consisting of the league's Rising Stars event, which happens on Friday. That's 4 teams with 8 players who will play 2 semifinal games. Those first 3 teams have been selected by their honorary general managers, which consist of Team Shaq, Team Chuck, and Team Kenny, representing TNT analysts Shaq, Charles Barkley, and Kenny Smith. The winner will then advance into the championship round, provided that each team scores a minimum of 40 points each to get there. Now, doesn't that sound like a lot of fun to you? It certainly sounds more interesting than watching the same old tired nonsense of your stereotypical all-star game format. Well, now you can enjoy the festivities by either pitting one country against the other or pitting a bunch of basketball players against each other in a format that nobody really understands or even asks for. It's just an exciting new way of polishing up the same turd while desperately hoping that someone is bored enough to pay attention. Will it work? Well, let's just say I'm already looking for other things to do. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, your furnace has been working very hard in all this cold. Got to change those filters. Go to Rocky's for the basic pleated air filters. Buy 3, get 1 free. And are mice moving in? You need mouse traps, and they're on sale right now at Rocky's. The stuff you need around the house is available right now at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:14, and Rush with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds today and tomorrow with a high of 35. It is 9 right now in downtown Springfield.
I can almost guarantee a very exciting round of Am I the A-Hole coming up later on today.
I don't know about exciting, but it would be another round of it.
Exciting enough.
And I just said the temperature, 9 degrees. But you had, 3 or 22? They have 5.
Yeah, now I've got 11.
Who's telling the truth?
I trust nobody here.
I don't trust anybody either. And, Dan Brown, he just sent the weather over, so you won't hear that until tomorrow. I'll get our producer
I was
going
to say, what do you get our producer? What's his name on it?
And Mass Live has the story, and I've been complaining like this. And yes, I know people call me a Karen or whatever you want to call me. I don't really care.
You're like a weather Karen?
Well, people listen to the show and they're like, you're a Karen. You're complaining about this and that. I stay in my lane. I complain about things that I know about.
Actually, no. You actually complain about a lot of things you don't know anything about.
Like what?
Things.
Name 5.
I can't.
Name 1.
I'm focused on the weather right now.
Well, but because you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I've prepared myself to talk about the weather.
There's plenty of things that you've talked about that you have no idea what you're talking about.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But I'm the first one to tell you that.
No, you're not.
I am.
You're the first one to go, actually, it's because, and then you come up with this cockamamie, excuse for it.
All right, then I'm the first person to say, you're right, I'm making it up.
No, you don't even say that.
I'm among the first people to admit I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, you can't get the time right. You say the time wrong probably 4 times a day.
It's 6:15.
Yeah, now you know it because you just looked at it and I made you cognitively aware of it.
It's about to turn 6:16.
Whatever. Anyway, listen to me. We're talking about the weather here. Over the weekend, they were predicting. This is the story out of Mass Live. A foot of snow was expected in part of Massachusetts Saturday night. But by Sunday afternoon, some of those areas only got 4 inches. A lot of that had to do with the uncertain dry slot and ice. You ever have a dry slot?
I have had a dry slot.
That's according to the National Weather Service. On Saturday night, forecasters at the Weather Service had been predicting 5 to 9 inches of snow across Massachusetts, including about a 10% chance of up to 12 inches in northern Mass, including Boston. However, they were concerned about how quick a dry slot or a zone of dry, mostly cloud-free air would impact final snow totals, and that's exactly what happened.
What just happened?
Exactly what I said was going to happen.
And when did you say that was going to happen?
A long time ago. It turned out the dry air we were concerned about in the Dendritic growth zone, or the DGZ, was the dominant factor, forecasters wrote. It arrived quickly Sunday morning and shifted the best conditions for snow towards northern New England. Meteorologist Serena Arnold also cited rain and ice as part of the reason for less snow, because anything that's coming down as rain obviously takes away from the fluff factor, she said in a TikTok video. A small amount of rain and ice, such as 1/10 of an inch, she said could have been 2 inches of snow, but not everywhere was spared. Some locations got as much as 8.5 inches.
That's still not a foot.
No, that's what I'm saying. For those who are hoping for more snow, there are 3 more chances later in the week. But here's the problem. If you're not accurate and you don't know what you're predicting, then why are you even saying it?
Well, I think in the case of a meteorologist, they're paid to say something.
I guess so.
And they have these computer models which predict, based on any number of variables, that say snow is expected on Thursday. Now, I don't know how much snow we're supposed to get on Thursday. They tell me it's going to be a foot. I'm going to guess it's going to be about 3 inches. They tell me it's going to be 3 inches. I'm going to guess it's about 9.
On Thursday?
Yeah, the what I'm seeing here is some snow on Thursday.
Okay, well, the next round of snow is on track to appear tonight into tomorrow, according to the National Weather Service.
Okay.
Tuesday's storm could see precipitation later in the day in the form of snow by around 6 p.m. The initial mid-Atlantic storm is centralized over northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., southeastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and grazing Connecticut, Rhode Island, and the Cape Islands. Why are you even publishing this story? It's not even local.
Well, again, let's say, for example, you were going to travel there.
Okay.
Or you had family who were infirmed. Well, wouldn't you want to know that information?
Yeah, but if you're wrong to begin with, why would I even believe you that you know what the weather's going to be like in South Carolina?
Steve, I'm starting to get the impression you just simply can't be satisfied.
I cannot be satisfied. The likelihood of at least 0.01 inches of snow falling is largely isolated to the South Coast and Cape and Islands.
Now, should I contact my plow guy?
Probably.
For that kind of depth?
Forecasters anticipate the snowfall should wrap up by around 7 a.m. See, this is, and again, okay, Thursday's storm should be notably stronger. And they put that in quotation marks because that means that they don't know what they're really predicting. Then the week's previous system, a system is on track to extend eastward from the Rockies and should reach the Northeast by Thursday morning. This should come as another system southwest of New England should be moving and strengthening once it reaches the Gulf of Maine. Precipitation will start with snow. It's likely to, and they go on and talk about all these snowfall totals and everything like that. But to me, it's just wrong information.
It would probably be more acceptable if you had, say, let's say Dan Brown, okay? Just because Dan Brown does the weather on our show. Let's say Dan says, listen, I can't be sure, but there's a good chance of snow tomorrow night. Would you be able to accept that?
No.
You want certainty.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? Let me know. I'm going somewhere with this. Have you noticed that of all the local meteorologists, the one that always seems so damn certain is Jenna Brown? When she says the weather, I'm like, damn it, I think she's serious.
But they're all reporting the same thing.
Are they though?
Yeah.
You don't think Dan is just like hiding some things and she's like hides? Like, I'm not going to let Dan know about this.
And here's another headline. 7 maps that show how much snow and ice Massachusetts could see this week. 7 maps? What are you, Dora the Explorer with the backpack?
Listen, I have a hard time folding one map. Never mind 7 of them.
That's what I'm saying. You got 7 maps, and you still can't get it right.
This is because it is a largely inexact science in which variables happen throughout the day that can easily change the course of what you predict.
Then you should say that. You shouldn't be like, oh my God, first alerts. Oh, here's
Steve,
the storm team is coming in.
Don't you think that based upon what you're saying, how there is a level of inaccuracy in weather reporting. That the average slob on the street would just know that. They wouldn't have to be told that this isn't exact, that there's a chance we could be completely wrong about this. Isn't that someone understood? Like no one can, they can't even predict an election, for crying out loud. Never mind weather. Weather, there's a lot of things that can change the weather.
Okay, you're comparing apples to oranges in an election.
Of course I am, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
I told you, I'm the first one to tell you.
But a weather system that you've been doing for years and years and years and over and over and over again, and science is supposed to improve as time goes on. I'm sure the John Quill days where he was using the magnets on the refrigerator to show when the sun was going to come out has progressed so much since then. We have a satellite. We can put planes in the sky. We can have satellites up in space to do all these exact science things. And here we are, still not being able to predict what tomorrow's going to be like.
Well, Steve, any good science is based on the possibility that new science could refute everything that just happened. That there may be other explanations for things.
Yeah, but sometimes that takes a long time to figure out.
The fallacy is to believe that a guy like John Quill, that guy was almost never wrong. No, you've mythologized the John Quill to believe that he was hardly ever wrong. John Quill wouldn't report on things that he wasn't sure of, so maybe it looked like he knew what he was talking about, but he had less resources at his disposal than Dan Brown or Brian Lapis or Jana Brown or Adam Stremko. It's just a fact, and they're relying on technology. And as we know, it's not an apples and orange comparison to say that sometimes technology is not always reliable, even though it was built by science.
So why can't I just go on TikTok and start predicting things and go, "Oh my God, we're gonna get 12 inches of snow tomorrow"?
You can.
And then be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's not an exact science. I know we only got a rain shower or two, but."
You can, because TikTok is designed for false information and misleading stories.
Okay, what about YouTube? Can I go on YouTube?
Well, that's longer form.
Can I go on?
That's longer form disinformation.
I think I'm going to start my own weather channel.
You know what, Steve? You're totally you are no less capable than anybody else.
Chillin' with my Nagle. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah. I would maybe workshop that a little bit, but you're on to something.
All right. Well,
again, you are with the very least amount of information. You are no more accurate or inaccurate than the average meteorologist.
Well, then maybe I can make a few bucks off this whole little scam they got going on here.
Sure.
Scam.
Why not?
It's a sham and a scam at the same time.
It's both. Yeah. It's both of them.
All right. Well, call me what do they call it? Chief meteorologist.
Chief meteorologist Steve Nagle.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I will start calling you that.
Here we go.
625 and Rock 102.
Life's expensive.
102.
And your Rock 102 wrong cast is going to be partly sunny today with a high of 34. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 35. It is 9, right, or 3, or wherever you're calling from in the Pioneer Valley. That's what it is.
We are going to have a round of Am I the A-Hole later on this morning. Prepare yourself for that.
I wonder if a meteorologist might be on the list for that. Maybe.
Perhaps.
You ready to laugh?
I'm ready to laugh.
All right, let's laugh.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
On Rock 102.
I make you laugh.
Springfield's classic rock.
So a guy walks into a lingerie store to buy something nice for his wife. Right?
Yes.
And the salesman goes, "Well, what size is she?" And he thinks about it for a moment, and he goes, "About the size of a refrigerator." All right? So the salesman glares at him and grabs the biggest lingerie that they have. He buys it and goes home. The next day, he comes back looking miserable, and the sales lady says, "Did it not fit?" And he goes, "Oh, it fit fine." But when she saw it, she said, "Do I look like a damn refrigerator to you?" And now, of course, I'm sleeping on the couch, right?
Okay.
And she goes, "Yeah, that can happen." And he goes, "The worst part is she left the door open all night just to make sure I heard the damn fridge running." I'll say that's better than some, right?
Yeah.
I could have predicted that wasn't going to be funny.
Yeah, me too.
About 5 minutes ago.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102, Springfield's.
With Bax and Nagle on Rock 102, it's time for news brought to you by Yankee Home Improvement. Breaking news, homeowners are saving big on windows and showers. Call Yankee Home by Thursday and don't miss out. It's time for news. Here's Chief Meteorologist Steve Nagle.
Thank you, Bax. I should start doing it like they do on that 10-10 wins. Well, thank you, Bax. And I'll go into a 2-minute rant about how I know nothing.
Which they would never do on 10-10 wins.
The Wilbraham Police Department is reminding the public to be wary of suspicious Is it weary or wary?
Wary.
What's the difference between the two?
Weary would be you're tired. Wary would mean you're on alert.
Well, couldn't you be both tired and alert?
I am right now.
At the same time? Suspicious activity in their neighborhoods after an incident on Rochefort Drive Monday afternoon. Wilbraham police said that the resident called the Wilbraham Regional Emergency Communications Center. They called 911. Why do we need to point that out?
In case someone isn't aware of what 911 actually means or where that call is going to.
A resident called the Wilbraham Regional Emergency Communications Center. It's like calling a program director a brand manager. We have to point out that it's still the same thing.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
not
location.
what they're called.
At around 2:45 p.m. on Monday afternoon, reporting suspicious individuals that had claimed to be solicitors. The caller said that the two men exited a white sedan and walked up to his front door, claiming to be working for the electric company. They said, "Hey, you guys!"
I see what you did there. You did the Rita Moreno thing. You had I like reaching back.
I like how you're drinking the sake, Kemosabe. You're bringing it right to me.
I'm a big fan of Rita Moreno.
The men stated they were there to resolve a double billing issue. The caller asked for identification of the alleged solicitors, and the two men left. The caller told emergency services that he had seen the vehicle driving slowly through the neighborhood of Rochefort Drive earlier in the day. The caller had been unable to obtain the license plate off the sedan. Officers were unable to locate a similar vehicle when checking the nearby neighborhoods. Wilbraham police said that recent events have occurred similar to this one in western Massachusetts communities where subjects will knock on doors of residents and break into the home if nobody answers.
You know, I'm always amazed by, and maybe not surprised, I'm always amazed that there is any legitimate business in the world that still goes door to door. Almost as much as I'm amazed that anybody who has a door opens it for someone who's soliciting at that door.
I had some guy when I first moved into my house that I'm in now.
Uh-huh.
I'm like 110 feet off the road, so it's not like it's easy to – it's not like a door-to-door type of neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy drives up, and he gets out, and he wants to sell magazines. And I knew this was like a scam right off the get-go. And I'm like, nobody's buying magazines. What the hell is buying magazines?
No one's reading magazines.
And this was 2019, and even then nobody was reading magazines.
I told you the last time someone tried to solicit me door to door, it was this very short woman wearing some sort of uniform trying to sell me cookies at the door.
Oh,
like,
really?
I'm going to buy that. Please.
Were they Girl Scouts?
That's what she was saying, but
yeah.
I can't trust her little shifty eyes and her little green uniform and that big bag of cookies. Who the hell knows where they've been? We're gonna sweatshop those things were baked at.
So if you are home and someone opens the door, the suspects will claim to work for a utility company to gain access to the home. You know, Eversource is already robbing a bunch of people with their electric rates. You think they're sending troops in to ravage your home as well?
They're robbing people, but they're robbing people in legitimate ways.
As
opposed to door-to-door where you simply
right.
can't trust anybody.
Yeah, you just get it on a piece of paper. Hey, look, you were robbed last month. Look at this delivery charge.
Look how much your neighbors were robbed around your neighborhood.
I like that delivery charge on the Eversource thing. And it's like, I never saw like the A-team coming out.
You mean B.A. Baracus wasn't hooking up hooking up the cables?
I pity the fool who leaves the lights on all night long.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah. The police said it's important not to give out personal information or let suspicious individuals into your home. National Grid, Wilbraham Town employees, DPW employees, and Eversource employees all drive conspicuously marked vehicles and wear uniforms and IDs. It says we're the robbers on the side of the car. We're the real robbers. If someone approaches your door...
Hi, my name is Rip. Rip you off.
Yeah, right. Oh, I think I know your brother, Scammy McScammington. If someone approaches your door and you feel uncomfortable, please call 911. Wait a minute. Don't I call the Western Mass Wilbraham Regional Emergency Communications Center? I don't know what's going on. It's misinformation.
What's the number to that place?
I believe it's 911. It's 911 times. You just put 999999999.
Now, suppose I have to get an outside line. Do I hit 9 first?
I think you got to hit 7.
I hit 9-1 area code, then 911?
Yeah.
Never figured that out.
10 people were arrested as law enforcement agencies took down a large-scale drug trafficking ring in Berkshire County. The DA's office said it led the operation over several months to make arrests in connection with large amounts of cocaine, heroin, fentanyl pills seized in the Berkshires. On Saturday, February 8th, 23 search warrants were executed in North Adams, Pittsfield, Lowell, including vehicles, a long-term storage facility in Pittsfield, and 6 suspects.
God, North Adams, Pittsfield, and Lowell? I thought those were such nice towns.
Well, they are, especially in the spring when the snow starts to melt. Detectives seized approximately $200,000 worth of drugs that included 20 firearms, including numerous large-capacity rifles and pistols, $60,000 in cash, 700 grams of cocaine, 320 grams of heroin, and 300 grams of fentanyl pills, all to be won on the Berkshire County Drug Bust.
I'll take 10 to 15 years in prison.
Henry Vidal, Jose Cascarillo, Richard Colon, and Victor Colon, come on down.
It's Prison Plinko.
The DA's office worked with both local and state law enforcement agencies to conduct the trafficking ring takedown. And then the agencies that were involved in the operation are as follows, and they list all of the organizations that are there.
But a big to-do.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like they want you to read who was involved.
Everybody wants to take their share of the credit.
Like they got shout-out. It's like when your kid makes the paper in the high school sports thing. You're like, oh, there's my kid's name in the high school. It's like,
it's like Vince the plumber wrote this.
Yeah, it's like, I just want to thank the Massachusetts State Police Tactical Operations Team, the Pittsfield Police Department, the North Adams Police Department, the Adams Police Department, the Franklin, Hampshire Law Enforcement Task Force, Lowell Police Department, Attorney General's Office, State Police, Middlesex State Police Detective Unit, Middlesex, Assistant Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Equipment for the operation, Berkshire County Sheriff's Office, Berkshire County Law Enforcement Task Force, Berkshire State Police Detective Unit, and Berkshire Detective. So you guys, I just want to let you know you guys are doing a great job, too.
Also,
thanks so much for putting
Plimpton
them down.
and Hills,
yeah,
the
Plimpton
plumbing
and Hills.
supply.
Yeah.
I needed the lighting fixtures from Hamden Zimmerman. And I got some new furniture at the pit.
I doubt it. A sinkhole has forced the closure of an intersection of Franklin Street and Church Street in Greenfield, according to city officials. The Greenfield Department of Public Works has, otherwise known as the DPW, has deemed they're located right next to the regional Western Massachusetts unsafe for travel, urging drivers and pedestrians to avoid the intersection until repairs are completed. Like you needed to tell me to avoid Greenfield.
Well, this is just a certain section of Greenfield. It's not all of Greenfield.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really necessary to say stay away from certain parts of Greenfield? I think people know.
I think people already can assume.
There is no estimated timeline for when the intersection will reopen. Officials are assessing the extent of the damage and are working on a plan to repair the sinkhole. We will provide updates to this story as soon as new information becomes available. You know what?
What?
They should have said work will be done by May 5th for the sinkhole de Mayo.
Oh, my God. Listen to you. How clever.
See? I could be a meteorologist and a news writer.
This is why you're the staff meteorologist. And the cake czar.
Chief meteorologist.
It's right. Chief meteorologist, cake czar.
Cake czar, all of those things. Which, by the way, I went and ordered the cake on Friday.
Did you?
Yeah.
What are we getting?
Raspberry mousse cake.
Ooh.
That sounds pretty damn good.
fruity.
Yeah. I'm going to have to, maybe I'll have to go over there and try some of that out before it actually gets here. Like order a piece of it.
Oh, you're not going to like take a slice of the cake and eat it in the car, right?
No, you know what? That's a good idea to put in those cake rules. That I get the first finger in the cake.
I don't think you want to put your finger in everybody else's cake, especially if it's somebody else celebrating their birthday.
Well, if I just put my finger in one little part of the cake and then take that as my piece, nobody gets contaminated.
Steve, you might as well put your feet in there for crying out loud. No, don't stick don't stick anything in the cake.
No, you cordon it off. You put some caution tape on the top of the cake, and that's where Nagle put his finger.
You do realize that by you making these suggestions, you are in fact opening the door for a cake d'etat, right?
Nobody's gonna overtake the cake czar. You're gonna have to fight off me and everybody else who's on the cake committee.
If people start thinking that you're going wild with these rules and making stuff up on your own,
yeah,
I can see a hostile overthrow.
I believe the Sovereign Cake Prince has pepper spray.
I can see a coup de tort coming up here very soon.
Fight everybody off. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Try me.
I'm not going to be the one leading the opposition, Steve. I have to work with you every single day.
You should probably reconsider getting married if you're arguing over a wedding venue. For those people out there getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Police in Wisconsin. Of course it's Wisconsin.
Of course.
Where they drink a lot.
They do.
Police in Wisconsin arrested a 22-year-old woman named Kaylee Branter after she stabbed her boyfriend in the neck during an argument about their wedding venue. The boyfriend claims Kaylee was the aggressor and that she got out of control when the conversation got heated, and he was trying to leave out the back door when he felt pain in his neck. Kaylee claims it was self-defense, and she picked up the knife because she was scared. She said the stabbing happened when she put her hands up when he was coming towards her. There's no indication that the boyfriend's injury is life-threatening. It also sounds the police believe his version of the story.
So have they still picked a venue, or is this relationship over?
Well, I mean, it is one of those questions that a young couple would have.
Right.
That's kind of your first argument. This is going to set the tone for the rest of the relationship.
Well, Jenny and I are about to celebrate our 6th anniversary.
Oh, my God. 6 years?
6 years.
Wow.
And we had no
Congratulations.
argument. Thank you very much. We had absolutely no argument about the venue whatsoever.
Well, because you're both reasonable adults.
Yes.
These two people. Can you imagine if your bride stabbed you over the fact that you picked that place up in Amherst?
Nope. Nope. Not especially not that place, because the food was phenomenal.
How let's just say she did stab you in the neck.
Yeah.
Would you have still married her?
Given everything I know about her, other than the one stabby thing, I'd probably still marry her.
See, you're a reasonable adult. You can look past people's shortcomings.
Listen, nobody is perfect. You stab one person doesn't mean you're going to stab everybody.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
What? And then you think about it, you're like, you know what? I deserve that because she really wanted the log cabin, but we went to Amherst instead.
No, see, to me, like something that might be worthy of a stabbing would be like the difference between, let's say that she wanted the Boltwood Inn, which is where we went at the time. The Lord Jeff. No.
It was called Lord
she
Jeff.
wanted to go to the Boltwood Inn, but I insisted that we go to the Lord Jeffrey.
Yeah, right. And then you have this big stabby fight over the whole
thing. There's no such thing as the Lord Jeffrey anymore. Yes, it is. I read it on the internet. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, butter knives are being thrown all over the place.
The blanket turn-down service at the Lord Jeff was the best.
Let me tell you something. The place was fantastic.
No, I know, but do you see what I'm doing there?
I
do.
The
Lord Jeff gave the smallpox blankets to all the Native Americans.
I remember
that's
that.
why they changed the name of it to the Boltwood Inn.
They wanted to change everything about Amherst at the time.
They wanted to change the name. I mean, his name was Lord Jeffrey Amherst.
Yeah.
They wanted to change the whole name of the town.
The mascot of Amherst College had to change because of it. You really have any idea how hard it is to switch up the basketball uniforms at Amherst College?
It would be pretty damn hard.
It's a lot.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be a mix of sun and clouds, maybe. Tomorrow, more of the same, maybe, with a high of 35. It might be 9. It might be 5. And everything in between. That's the news on Rock 102. Ah, yeah.
This is not a
Rock at 6:54, and Paul McCartney with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Oh, it could be 9, it could be 5, and there could be some clouds, and there might not be. Who knows what's going on with the weather?
See, I think people are going to need to know a little bit more information than that.
Why? Because it's going to be wrong anyway. And then all of a sudden, I clicked refresh on the thing, and then it shows clouds. And now it's cloud. There's no more sunshine.
Well, Steve, but people are waiting to hear some sort of definitive forecast as opposed to some sort of wishy-washy, namby-pamby, straddling the fence type of presentation.
Definitive forecast? There's no such thing.
How about confident potential forecasting?
All right. There might be some sun later on today, and there might not be.
Okay.
Tomorrow, there might be some sun, and there might not be. And it might be 35 degrees for a high. And right now, from since we're checking 7 different weather maps,
right?
It's 8 here, it's 5 at 22, and you had 3.
My Apple Watch says 13, but I can't trust that.
293-1021, what's the temperature in your neck of the woods?
Please don't.
No.
Please don't waste the phone call.
Happy birthday to the Smuckers, Smuckers jelly. If it's Smuckers, it's got to be good, right?
That's right, Steve.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
I'm Willard Snot.
It's 6:56 on Rock 102.
Rock 102 is...
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, indulge me for a moment while I astound you with some mathematical statistics. As you know, on Sunday night, the Philadelphia Eagles completely dismantled the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl by a razor-thin margin of 40-22. This was the game in which the Chiefs were hoping to become the first team in NFL history to win 3 straight Super Bowl championships, a three-peat, which they did not do. Instead, the Chiefs were blown out in what appeared to be an ill-prepared debacle, the likes of which Patrick Mahomes has never seen during his entire football career. Now, if you're like me, I'm sure you tried to avoid enduring such moments of painful humiliation with a desire to flee amidst the hopes that no one saw it happen. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as Fox Sports is projecting that the average audience of Sunday's Super Bowl was approximately 126 million people. They also claim that at its peak, the Super Bowl audience grew to approximately 135.7 million people by the second quarter, a difference of nearly 9.7 million people. I should also point out that it was being projected that nearly 14.5 million people saw the game on streaming services. Now, that's a lot of people watching you as you got your ass handed to you during the Super Bowl. But here's my question. There were 333.29 million people in the United States, with nearly 135.7 million people watching the game, combined with the 14.5 million people watching through streaming. That leaves more than 183 million people who chose to do something else. Who are you people? What's wrong with you? Sure, not everybody likes watching football and not everybody has a TV, but for 183 million Americans to somehow find something better to do? Like what? Read a book? Watch the news? Till the fields? Listen, I put more than enough time in during watching the Super Bowl Sunday. 3.5 hours of game time coverage, 6 hours of pregame, even watch some of the postgame stuff. Why? Because I'm an American, not one of these non-participatory wackos with nothing better to do. The Super Bowl is the best damn thing we've got in this country, and to ignore it is like punching Uncle Sam right in the suck. I hope you people can live with yourselves, because I certainly couldn't. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, there's a woman in Westfield who is an authority on paint. Rachel at the Westfield Rocky. She's been there for over 20 years. If you need paint or advice, do what people in Westfield do. Go see Rachel. Good people, rock solid service at every Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic.
It's Hank from Tudor House.
Oh, hey,
Hank,
wait a minute.
Hank, calm down.
Anyway, it's 7:09 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's gonna be something out there today. I'll tell you that. It's a digit in downtown Springfield right now.
Well, that's almost good.
Well, that's the new weather forecast.
Yeah, well, that's great. We are after all, the chief meteorologist here at Rock 102.
I am the chief meteorologist. You're just a minion.
I don't work for you, Steve.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No,
Well,
I don't. No.
I'm changing things around here.
Well, I don't think you're changing things nearly like you think you are.
Are you the a-hole?
Not today.
Yeah. I know it's am I, but I wanted you to say yes to it because you are.
I'm not so sure where this is going.
Well, sometimes we don't like the paths that we go down in life, but here we are.
Anyhow,
Are you ready for the round of this stuff? Or
Yes.
what? All right, you ready? Am I the a-hole? Because I got a warning at work because I tried to catch the person who kept stealing my lunch, and it turned out to be my manager. She got a reaction and had to go to the hospital.
she got an allergic reaction?
Yeah, I guess so. I work at a family-owned company, and I'm also pregnant. I've been having issues with someone stealing my lunch. In the beginning, it wasn't quite as often. I just chalked it up to being an honest mistake. Someone could have confused my lunch with theirs, but no, it just it just continued happening more and more. I started putting my name on it, writing passive-aggressive notes on it, but that didn't help. I would still find my lunchbox empty. Sometimes they would just have a few bites and leave the rest. Even my half-drunk drinks were finished off. You bringing drinks to work?
Half drunk?
Half consumed.
Oh,
I
okay.
think she means.
No wonder she was getting into your food.
They were relentless, and it would happen a couple of times a week. I was at my wit's end because I'm extra hungry because of the pregnancy. She's eating for two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really on a tight budget, so I can't even afford to replace the food, meaning I have to work on an empty stomach for my whole shift, and this completely enraged me. I even cried a couple of times in the bathroom because of this. It didn't happen to just me, but it felt like I was targeted for some reason. I made a decoy lunch where I put a crap load of cayenne pepper because that's the worst thing I had in my cabinet and I didn't want to hurt them. I don't like spicy food, so I never really use it. I took the food to the work the following day, put it in the fridge, but it was still there at the end of my shift, so I took it home and brought it back the next day. Sure enough, it was stolen, and about an hour later, there was some commotion. The manager was sick and stuck in the toilet for a while. Her throat had swelled up, and she had to go to the hospital. Turns out she had an allergic reaction. When she came back, she blamed me because she obviously knew exactly whose food she ate, and I told her it's her own fault for stealing other people's food. Even after telling my side of the story to her boss, I got a verbal warning, and apparently I got off lightly. Nothing happened to the manager. I don't get how I'm the bad guy for messing with my own food, but a literal thief gets away with stealing. So am I the a-hole for putting cayenne pepper in my lunch?
You know, in some crimes, intent is actually an important thing.
Yeah.
But if your boss is stealing your grub, sometimes the old switcheroo seems to be a good way of stopping it.
Yeah.
This would probably, I'm going to guess now that the manager will no longer be rifling through your lunch.
Well, you shouldn't be eating other people's food.
No, of course not.
I don't even know what. You don't know what people do at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when there's like homemade stuff up here, I'm a little wary or whatever you want to call it.
I think you'd be wary. If you had their food every single day, you might get weary of it.
Right, but I'm a little wary sometimes of what people bring in here because you don't know if people wash their hands when they make that stuff, and it's not like you at least if you're getting it from a box or a bakery or something, it's ServSafe certified,
right?
And the likeliness of you getting a disease is much less than you would be getting a disease from somebody who brought their own food in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why you would even bother eating somebody else's food.
Well, I don't understand it either, and I don't dislike very many people in the building right now.
Right.
I mean, it's always going to be like 4 or 5. But for the most part, I get along with everybody here. But I don't know what they do to their food when they're home.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know how insane some of these people. I mean, for all I know, there may be. I don't really even go up through the fridge because it's everybody else's stuff. If it's my stuff, I'll put it in there and that's it. But I never bring stuff to work. But for all I know, someone could be blowing their nose in their food or drop it on the floor. You're washing their sinks with it. I'd have no idea what's going on up there.
When we used to have a lot of people working here and I was doing nights here, I would leave food here because, I would be hungry by the time I got here. And
Sure.
That would be my dinner, and I would make a sandwich or something and put it up in the fridge. Somebody sometimes would eat it, which I don't understand why you would do that, a ham sandwich or something that doesn't belong to you.
Right.
So then I put a note on it saying, I spit in this. Well, our good former coworker Bob Kester wrote on the bag, "So did I."
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like, you know what? You're busting balls around here, but the fact is that somebody's eating my sandwich. Who would be doing that?
I have no idea.
I mean, we had a lot more employees back in that day, so you never knew who was going through stuff. But it came to the point where I couldn't even keep anything in here because somebody was eating the food. And it's like, how hard up are you that you can't buy your own food or bring it in yourself?
You got a snack machine upstairs.
Yeah.
It's filled with delicious treats.
Healthy snacks.
Snacks. Doritos, chips.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Cheez-Its. They're all up there. You're telling Famous Amos cookies. You're telling me that you couldn't have something in the machine? You had to grab somebody else's food?
Yeah.
At least with a bag of Doritos, all the stuff that's in there, written right there on the package,
written right on the bag.
If let's say Pat Kelly brings a sandwich, or some soup from home that he opened from the can,
I'm not eating that.
I don't know what he's put in that thing.
I wouldn't eat anybody's stuff up there.
No.
There's a jar of. I just noticed there's a jar of Francesco Rinaldi up there.
Okay.
People don't even have good taste in food. Why would I want to try to eat your food? Who's using a jar of Francesco Rinaldi?
Someone with a very low bar of expectation.
Ciao, Francesco Rinaldi. That's like the worst. That's not salt. That's ketchup in a bottle. In a jar, I mean.
Right. That's ketchup and some garlic paste.
So I think the boss is the a-hole for eating the food.
I think so, too.
I think the pregnant lady putting the cayenne pepper serves that lady right. I mean, you don't want to see somebody die.
No,
but you also want to teach somebody a lesson, too.
And if someone is critical, you say, listen, because I'm pregnant, I suddenly got a taste for spicy food. So I added a little bit of cayenne to my normal lunch.
I guess
so does that make me an a-hole? No.
No. Here's another one. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law that if she's going to act like my husband's side piece, she might as well start paying his bills? I think some of these are made up.
I don't know.
My 32-year-old sister-in-law, or she's 32, the sister-in-law is 29, has always been a little too obsessed with my husband, who's 35. At first, it was just annoying. Constant compliments, always calling him her favorite person and finding any excuse to touch him. But lately, it's giving full-blown emotional affair with a blood relative vibe. It started getting weirder when she began posting thirst traps with captions like, "Some men just know how to treat a woman right." And guess who's always the first to like them? My husband.
Ah, boy.
Then last week she sent him a text saying, you always make me feel so safe. I don't know what I'd do without you. I saw it and said, you mean your brother? You don't know what you'd do without your brother? She turned bright red and deleted the message. The final straw was at a family barbecue when she sat on his lap. On his lap.
On his lap.
In front of everyone, she giggled, saying, "Oops, nowhere else to sit," as if there wasn't a whole damn patio set sitting right in front of her. I looked her dead in the eye and said, well, if you're going to act like his side piece, you might as well start covering half the mortgage. She burst into tears. My husband got mad at me, and my mother-in-law started ranting about how I misunderstood Kara's brotherly admiration. Am I the a-hole, or is this woman one DNA test away from the Maury show?
Listen, if that makes you uncomfortable,
yeah,
and you've made it known that it makes you uncomfortable, then those people should comply to the fact that, hey, maybe our behavior is making her uncomfortable, and that's not right.
Or maybe she should open up her little options a little bit better. This might be something she's into, and she just doesn't know it yet.
Well, Steve, not everybody is up to be swingers.
Well, yeah, well, especially swingers with your own sister.
Well, that's right.
Wasn't that a group, the Swinging Sisters?
I don't know. I don't have any of their records.
I mean, I think. You ever see people like that? Like the siblings are a little too close, like with the touching and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I've seen it.
It's kind of weird.
It's a little
what's
odd.
going on in that house?
I don't really know.
I don't know.
And I don't ask questions.
Well, I think the sister's the a-hole here.
Probably yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think the wife's getting over jealous.
No, but I think the wife has made her opinion known, and it should be up to everybody else to respect that.
All right, and here's the final one.
One.
Am I the a-hole for calling out my sister for being a slut at our family reunion?
It doesn't sound that way.
Again, just hear her out, okay? So, I, 28 female, have a sister, Jess, who's 26, who's always been the wild child of the family. I've never really minded it, live your life, right? But lately it's gotten a little bit out of hand. Jess has been bringing home a new guy every other week. And by bringing them home, I mean literally bringing them to family events. One time she introduced a guy as Tim, and the next month we were all having dinner with a guy named Jim, who insisted he was just a friend. At the family reunion, Jess showed up with yet another guy, Ben. And when my aunt asked if they were dating, Jess just shrugged and said, nah, he's just one of my boy toys. This was too much for me. I got up, grabbed my drink, and said, God, Jess, at this point we need a spreadsheet to keep track of all the guys you slept with. Are you ever going to stop being a slut? And the room went dead silent. Jess's face turned bright red, and she started yelling at me, calling me a judgmental prude. My parents were furious, saying I had no right to embarrass her like that. Mm-hmm. Now everyone is mad at me for ruining the family gathering, and they say I overstepped. But honestly, I feel like someone had to call it out. So am I the a-hole for calling out my sister for being a slut in front of everyone, or should I have just kept my mouth shut?
You want to go first?
No, you go.
I think you should mind your own damn business. If your sister wants to be a hooer, that's her business. She's not hurting anybody, except the guy she's dumped for the new guy.
If she's bringing these guys to the family barbecues, that would be the dish I would not eat. Because you don't know where his hands have been.
That would be like the human version of the 3-bean salad.
Yes. Would you like some 3-bean HPV salad?
The secret ingredient is chlamydia
and Miracle Whip. That's like an upside down Jell-O bowl with a little Miracle Whip on top.
Yeah, no, I think I don't think it's your business to call her out. Let her live her life, and if you have your judgments, keep them to yourself.
Well, I mean, if these guys are taking care of her, contributing,
yeah, maybe she just hasn't found that one person she wants to settle down with, and is just going through them, one at a time to make sure she eliminates most of the population.
I mean, if you're bringing your Tinder dates over for the barbecue, that might not be the best idea.
Well, I mean, you would never bring someone to a family barbecue on a first date, would you?
No. Yeah, that is kind of weird now. I'm thinking this sister might be a little bit of a slutty.
Well, she may be, but we don't even know if it's a first date. It may just be someone that she's.
Well, I mean, she's bringing one over every week. It's either a first or second date. I mean, you don't. That's just too much.
If a woman said to me, "I want to bring you to my family gathering on our first date or our second date," I'd say, maybe we're going a little too fast here. Family barbecue. That seems to be a little bit more of a commitment that I might be ready for at this point in our relationship.
Maybe she's got some weird slut kink. Like, listen, I'll have sex with you, but only if you come to a family barbecue. That means two things. And there you go. That's another round of Am I the A-hole?
Very good.
I think some of these might be made up.
I don't think so.
You never know.
724 on Rock 102. It's 727 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
I got new glasses yesterday.
Yeah.
and I left them at home.
Didn't see yourself wearing them?
No, but at least they're in the case. They're not shoved between the couch cushions.
Were you looking for them and not able to find them, or just forgot them?
I forgot because I'm not used to wearing. I haven't been wearing them for months.
Every pair of glasses you have, you break.
Yeah, but these are in the case, so they're not broken. They're still
Yeah, but once you start wearing them, they're not going to be in the case. And I'm just wondering, whether we should do like an illegal office pool, but when Steve's going to break his new glasses.
Yeah, that could be a nice little bet. We can do one of those illegal Super Bowl pools like we do every week.
Hey, by the way, I was the winner.
Yeah, you were where you were. I had the numbers wrong.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that J guy is.
And no idea. All I know is I walk away with a big jackpot.
So why have you not bought anything? Where's our breakfast? Where's because if I won some money, I would treat you to something.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
Is that a fact?
I would.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think of it in terms of food yesterday, but if somebody wanted to deliver something to the radio station, I would be willing to pull out one of my big fat stacks of $20 and pay you in exchange for food.
All right, I'll take a bagel.
Cream
cheese,
bagel, cream cheese
butter,
would be good. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Toasted,
that would be good.
Maybe a sesame bagel. None of them raisin bagel.
Yeah, no raisin,
I don't
please.
like fruit in my bagels.
Hey, join Steve on the join Chief Meteorologist Steve Nagle on the Rock 102 Road Crew this Friday from 6:30 to 8:30 for Free Music Friday at the Aria Ballroom at MGM. Get a load of this. Apparently, some new band called Trailer Trash is going to be there.
Yeah, it's the hot young band. It's all the rage.
Everyone's talking about them for the few people who have seen them over the last, I believe they've only been around for like a month or two. Anyway, stop by the Rock 102 table. Register for a chance to win some cool prizes. It's this Friday, 6:30, 8:30 at the Aria Ballroom at MGM with Chief Meteorologist Steve Nagle and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. Now, I was there last Friday. A nice, orderly crowd, good band. It was everything was on the up and up. They're probably expecting a larger than usual crowd for Trailer Trash. Yeah. They tend to bring people with them. So, plan accordingly, be patient. You can have a lot of fun, but it is a smaller space than you would have outdoors for the winter Free Music Friday concert series, but still a lot of fun.
Lots of fun.
Loads of fun.
Tons of fun.
Lots and lots of loads
All right.
of fun.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Let's move on. We got news to get to. We got all the kinds and the weather forecast is coming your way later on.
Shortly. 7:30 on Rock 102. 7:32 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news, and it is brought to you by Gary Rome Hyundai. Technicians get up to a $5,000 sign-in bonus right now. Learn more at GaryRomeHyundai.com/family. His local radio icon, Steve Nagle.
And Chief Meteorologist.
Steve Nagle.
Captain Meteorologist or Sergeant Meteorologist. What, General Meteorologist?
No, I think Chief.
Chief? I don't really look like a chief.
No, but I believe in the meteorological hierarchy. Chief is like that's the highest rank you can achieve.
They don't have there's no. Yeah, but what's below the chief?
Well, I think
Rear Admiral Meteorologist.
I don't know who's below the chief.
That's what I like to know about it.
Right.
A Chicopee man was arrested in Springfield on Sunday after a shot spotter activation on Oak Grove Avenue. Responding officers received a photo of the suspect's car, which was reported as stolen, and then tracked it down to a parking lot on the 600 block of State Street. Once there, police found two suspects, one of which ran away. The other was identified as 25-year-old Devin Garcia of Chicopee. Upon searching the stolen car, officers found a gun and a Glock switch, which can turn a firearm into a fully automatic machine gun. Garcia was placed under arrest and now faces several gun-related charges. A machine gun.
Yeah,
a rat-a-tat-tat-tat.
What do you need one of those for?
Well, if you're not a very good shot.
What are you going after terror cells?
Do you practice at the Big E every year when you go to shoot out the star with the BB gun machine gun?
I don't know. I know that that whenever I shot the water into the clown's mouth, it has never really helped me at the range.
That means two things. Shoot it into the clown's mouth.
Right.
Uh-huh. That's what you want to be wary of.
Right.
Yeah. Shooting it into the clown's mouth.
Right.
That sounds
at
dirty.
the Big E.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The Springfield Police Department is encouraging residents to come to their headquarters that they plan on making exchanges or purchases with strangers online. This is to combat robberies in the city. Spokesman Ryan Wall says that people can do that by going to the department's Pearl Street location, where the designated meetup spots. The meetup spots are marked by green signage. They can be found on the sidewalk in front and also inside the lobby. Both locations have 24-hour video surveillance, so they can watch you getting robbed by somebody online on a TV screen.
Yeah, but at least you're close.
You're
close to help.
The biggest key of doing it at the police department is one of its legitimate deal. If it's a legitimate deal, the person will show up. If it's not, that's the red flag. They may call and say, hey, I can't meet there. Can you meet me somewhere else? And it just adds extra layer of safety because there are officers around. Walsh adds to let the officer in the lobby know you're there for an internet transaction. The officer will not monitor your transaction, but if you need help, they will assist you. Hey, do you have change for a 20? No. But you said you would assist me. I don't have that kind of money. I'm a cop.
Yeah. I pay mostly on credit card or debit.
Yeah. I'm just like every other American. Everybody thinks we make big bucks, but we don't.
You realize how much overtime I'd have to have in order to make a real living?
2 Starbucks locations in Western Massachusetts are looking to unionize. The Starbucks on East Main Street in Westfield and the King Street in Northampton have recently filed to unionize, which would affect nearly 40 employees. Wait, so you just leaving the other 2 locations out? Or there's another one in Westfield, and then there's 2 in Northampton, I believe.
Do they unionize by shop?
I guess so. The 22 News contacted Starbucks for a statement. Spokesman Phil G. said it's...
No, that's just what they wrote on the cup.
Yeah, right, yeah. We have a union question for Phil G. We respect our partners' right to choose through a fair and democratic process to be represented by a union or not to be represented by a union, and will continue to work together to make Starbucks the best job in retail. This comes after hundreds of Starbucks locations across the country have filed to unionize with the National Labor Relations Board. Not neighbor, labor.
Right.
Although they are your neighbor.
Yes. But, listen, I'm not speaking against unions. If you're feeling like you're being hassled by the man, if Mr. Starbuck and his family are imposing a lot of draconian rules in the workforce, well then you unionize. But on the other hand, if the baristas were to go and strike,
yeah,
the whole town would get shut down.
You know what? I think there are only certain people that should be doing certain jobs there, like the bean flicker. Who's gonna flick the bean at Starbucks? Well, we can't serve coffee today because the bean flicker called out sick.
Is the bean flicker an actual employee or just someone who can't figure out other places to bean flick?
Flick the bean?
Yes.
Did you ever flick the bean before?
Not there.
Well, I've flicked the bean many a times. Yeah, I'd be really good at that job. I've been known to be a good bean flicker.
I don't know of anybody that can back you up on that claim.
Yeah, I'm also the cold foam guy.
Oh, that I believe.
The bean flicking cold foamer. Usually when you bean flick enough, you get enough cold foam out to top that drink off.
Yes.
A viral video on TikTok shows customers at a Costco stockpiling dozens of eggs into their carts amid the nationwide egg shortage.
I saw this video.
So stupid.
They've got signs at Costco that you can't buy more than 3 packages of eggs.
Right.
And there's a guy who's got one of them flatbed your carts.
Yeah.
He's got 30 cartons of eggs.
Yeah,
and then he was told,
okay.
Oh, you can't do that, and he puts them back.
Because you shouldn't do that. What is, you can't, it's a perishable item.
Well,
eventually they're going to go, but what are you going to do? Is he turning around to sell them? Is that what he's doing?
a lot of restaurants
Yeah.
do get things at Costco that they can't get from their normal suppliers.
I'm sure they do, but, to be hoarding them like that, this is why we didn't have toilet paper back in the day.
I know.
during
You should
the
have seen what I
COVID
did to the curtains.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like how selfish are you as a human being that you feel like you need to stockpile a perishable food item?
You're right in the sense that, it is a perishable item, but it's also going to do a number on your cholesterol levels.
I was going to say, it's going to put you well over 300.
And you don't want that.
The woman...
Otherwise, you're on statins, and oh, my God, what a mess that is.
The woman who took the video said it happened the morning of January 29th at a Costco in California. She said all the eggs were gone within 10 minutes of the store's opening. Commenters on the TikTok video are saying customers appear greedy, with one writing, "Reminds me of the toilet paper craze during COVID." Since then, Costco confirmed that on Monday that it is limiting customers to 3 packages of eggs, which are typically sold in 2 dozen or 4 dozen cartons.
We kind of mentioned this yesterday, and now I'm starting to have the real concerns. Has anyone done a wellness check on Barry?
Yeah, he's fine.
Have you talked to him in like the last 2 weeks?
He's a survivalist.
I know he is, but
He's like that guy on that show where he eats. You can find ants out in the woods, and he picks it up in his hand and goes, "Energy. This is energy."
okay, but Barry is known for all right, the egg salad.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's excellent egg salad, but you can't just make egg salad with like a single egg. You got to eat like multiple eggs to make it worth the effort. And the other thing that he eats in his diet are the Costco chickens. Well, they've been the rotisserie chickens. Well, again, this is a health crisis for chickens. Hundreds of millions of chickens have had to be euthanized. Mm-hmm. So now you're down on eggs. You're down on rotisserie chickens. What the hell is he eating? What's left for a guy like Barry to chow down on?
Have you never had his kale soup before?
Yeah, and what kind of stock goes into the soup?
Vegetable.
Oh, he does vegetable?
It's vegetable stock. It's kale soup. You're making all these...
I always use chicken stock.
Well, then that's not really the vegan way of doing things.
Well, I'm not a vegan, Steve. The real way of doing it is like either beef or chicken stock.
He's got kale, he's got carrots, and he flicks a lot of beans in there, too.
You got to have the beans.
He's the OG bean flicker.
Listen, I've been on a big caldo verde kale soup kick lately. I made it like 3 weeks in a row.
A kale soup kick.
Oh, man, it's as a Portuguese American, I got to tell you, it's one of the great joys of life is to having that soup. And there are many ways to make it, but it only requires like 5 or 6 only like 5 or 6 ingredients. And stock is certainly one of them. And if I'm going to choose a stock or one or the other, it's going to be a meat-based stock over a vegetable stock. And most of the time, it's going to be chicken.
Listen, you're not really following the recipe for a kale soup if you're using chicken stock. The whole point of it is to have vegetables, fiber. And then you're ruining it by putting meat stock in there.
I'm already putting a Portuguese chorizo in there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be putting any meat into it.
But that's wrong. I'm doing the Portuguese version, the caldo verde. It's got the sausage, it's got the meat stock, it's got the kale, the onions, and love. Loads and loads of love.
All right. Well,
a bean.
You flick the bean in
I
there.
flick a couple cans of beans in there.
Bean flicker.
I flick the beans right into my soup, and I got to tell you, it is glorious.
A judge ruled in favor of a school district that prevented a mom in Florida from volunteering at her kid's elementary school after learning that she has an OnlyFans page. In 2023, Victoria Treese sued the Orange County Public School District for $1 million after they allegedly banned her from volunteering at Sand Lake Elementary School in Orlando, where her 5-year-old and 10-year-old sons attend. She said someone sent an anonymous email to the principal voicing their concerns. If I'm not hurting anybody, I'm not affecting anybody's day, then it's somebody's choice to do something that's fully legal, she said. Treese said the principal shared the email with her boss, including images of her adult content. In her original filing, Treese claims, "Hey, get a load of this broad. Isn't this the chick we got down in the lunchroom?"
The one who's looking all sassy in that hairnet.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah, she's looking like the ham sandwich that we all know and love around here.
And those rubber gloves.
In her-
How hot.
In her original filing, Treese claims the district violated her right to free speech and also alleged sexual cyber harassment for sharing her pictures from OnlyFans account with media outlets. After a lengthy legal battle, a judge ruled on January 29th that Treese does not have the right to volunteer and pointed out that she did not appeal the decision with the school district itself. The judge also said the volunteer program policy does not include any language that confers any right or benefit upon an individual to participate in the program, to remain in the program, or to appeal a removal decision. Furthermore, the judge said the district didn't violate her privacy by sharing the photos because her OnlyFans images were public record. Is it public record if you're paying for them?
That's a very good question.
It doesn't validate like it's not my whole life. That's just a part of my life, but it's not my life of being a mom or being a parent, she said.
Well, listen, I mean, these side hustles, people got to put food on the table. And if an OnlyFans page is the only true way you can make money hand over fist, well, then doggone it, that's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're just letting money slip through your fingers.
And the point being which, it's not like she's barred from employment. They're looking for a perfectly good bean flicker, and she's got experience at the Westfield Starbucks.
But
Look
now,
at her resume. She's been flicking beans her entire career.
Right, but is she going to be a shop steward or an ombudsman? What you going to be?
An ombudsman.
Right.
Yeah, I like that
right.
one better. Yeah.
I'm the barista ombudsman.
Yeah. I listen. Who cares what you do on your side hustle?
Well, I think it depends. I mean, there are some jobs that probably don't lend itself to a lot of acceptance of OnlyFans pages.
Where do you draw the line, though, of what a side hustle should be? She's not doing anything with children.
Right.
She just happens to be a lady who takes some saucy pictures and posts them up online, and people pay for those pictures.
Mm-hmm. Do you happen to have the actual IRL
no,
or
I wish
account
I
number?
I don't know if she. You know what? She probably made a lot more money by being exposed. Usually when these things happen, this is probably the best thing that ever happened to her, where she got called out for her behavior, and then people are like, "Well, I want to see those pictures." It's one of those, it's like a wet paint sign on a bench. You're gonna want to touch it to make sure that
it's actually
got
still
wet paint.
right. Yeah.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be a mix of sun and clouds, maybe, with a high of 33. Tomorrow, more of the same, maybe. It's 10 or 3 or 6, depending on where you are in the Pioneer Valley. I'm Steve Nagle, Chief Meteorologist, and that's the news on Rock 102.
It starts off as a nuisance, and you just put up with it. But then that awful rock, it's almost 7:53 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
As Chief Meteorologist, your forecast for the day is going to be a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 33. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 35. It's either 3, 6, or 9, depending on where you're. 3, 6, 9, damn you fine. Hoping that you suck it to me one more time. Get low. Get low, get low, get low.
This week on Backstage Musical Podcast, my guest is Hugo Burnham from the Gang of Four. He's been on the podcast before. Gang of Four is about to start their final tour, and it's starting here in New England. In fact, they'll be at the Crystal Ballroom in Boston at the Somerville Theater on April 20th. And they're doing a couple of early shows before that. 2 days before, they'll be at the Westport Public Library in Westport, Connecticut. Just a little warm-up show. They're doing that. Really interesting guy. He is also a professor at Endicott College in Beverly, Massachusetts. Hear that interview whenever you get a chance to at Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, the Rock 102 YouTube channel, rock102.com, as well as the Rock 102 app. And it's all brought to you by Metro, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
Traffic alert. Road hog. A crash on I-91 North in Springfield is causing delays this morning. The 22 News Skycam can see. Oh, they're not even sending out a road crew anymore. What do they call those kids? The news crew.
The news crew.
They have the Skycam sees that multiple vehicles are involved in the crash and that the right lane is closed to traffic at this time. According to Waze, traffic seems to be backed up to Longmeadow. So,
Wow.
Yeah. No word on any injuries of the crash, and 22 News supposedly will update you as the morning goes on. So if you're going I-91 north, get off and go somewhere else.
I know we don't have a lot of time here, but the story that came out the other day, a Massachusetts man arrested on I-84 in Union, Connecticut, going 130 miles an hour in a Tesla, claiming stopped by Connecticut State Police and told the police that he was driving that fast, 130 miles an hour on I-84, because he had a sick friend in New York.
Oh, well, I mean, if you want to get there quick.
There's so many douchey elements to a story like this. He's a 21-year-old kid driving 130 miles an hour in a Tesla to go see a sick friend in New York.
I didn't even know those cars could go that fast.
I didn't know that either, but I'm pretty sure that kid's still going to be sick, even if you were going to drive the posted speed limit in your gray Tesla at 21 years old.
Yeah, but give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was going to make it there in an hour and 45 versus 2 hours and 30 minutes. You know?
Yeah, I know, but 84 West can be a little congested in some areas.
I don't even know how you go that fast on 84. 84 is like this windy, very windy interstate.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's kind of like, you ever go through I-80 through like New Jersey and Pennsylvania?
Sure.
Where it's like you're basically driving through the carve out of the mountain.
It's a winding road that leads to nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And, that's to be going that fast.
Listen, if I get up to like 80 miles an hour in my car, I'm immediately, it's like a light switches on. Like, whoa, hey, whoa, where's the fire? I got to slow down. I don't want to be pulled over, especially with all these illegal guns and drugs in my car.
I drive like an old man.
I kind of do too.
Yeah.
130 miles an hour. Like, where, why? What's the emergency?
I go 64 on 991.
Yeah. I mean, it's you're not slowing things down.
Well, if you
much.
stay in the right lane, you're fine. You just got to get out of all the other douchebags' way.
Yeah, I like to stay in the passing lane, but at least go like 5 miles under the speed limit.
See, I'm not a jerk. I'm not that much of a jerk.
I'm not being a jerk. I'm being safe.
Well, I'm being safe too.
It's just a matter of perspective.
I don't know. I understand how people don't realize that, driving in a pattern like that, if you stay to the right and then pass only when you need to versus passing, using the fast lane as your personal comfort. What is it?
Your personal comfort cruise.
Comfort cruise. I mean, you're causing more problems than you should be.
Bottom line is, if you can get your car to go 130 miles an hour for a sick friend,
do it. Just do it.
I was going to say, it better be a damn good friend when you consider that you may get arrested for it.
That's a piss poor excuse.
Yeah, I would say I'm going 130 miles an hour because I'm looking for the next rest stop because I really got to use the bathroom.
Yeah, or I just got made fun of at the last rest stop because I was driving a Tesla. I just need to get to a safe space.
Because I was triggered there.
Right.
And I don't know how I'm going to get over it.
Uh-huh.
It's 7:58 on Rock 102.
Call or text us in. This is View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, the Super Bowl is over. And if you're anything like me, you must be wondering, well, what else is there to do? The month of February can be a long month for many sports fans, but with baseball, spring training just kind of getting started and March Madness several weeks away, what's a sports fan like me supposed to do? Well, folks, you're in luck, because not only is this weekend All-Star Weekend in the NBA, tomorrow begins the Four-Nation Face-Off in the NHL. That's 2 All-Star events, each with entirely new formats, going on at practically the same time. Why, it's almost enough to blow your damn face off. In the NHL, you have 4 teams and the All-Star players representing the 4 nations teams. The United States, because it was our idea, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. The 4-nation face-off will use a round-robin format in which teams will accumulate points based on wins in regulation and overtime shootouts, which will be decided in a 10-minute-long 3-on-3 sudden death period followed by an additional shootout, with 2 teams advancing into the championship round. In the NBA, you'll have 3 teams consisting of 24 all-star players and 1 team consisting of the league's rising stars, which will be chosen at an event this Friday. That's 4 teams with 8 players each who will play in 2 semifinal games. Those first 3 teams have been selected by their honorary general managers that consist of Team Shaq, Team Chuck, and Team Kenny, representing TNT analysts Shaq, Charles Barkley, and Kenny Smith. The winners will then advance into the championship round, provided that each team scores a minimum of 40 points to get there. Now, doesn't that sound like a hell of a lot of fun? Isn't it entirely more interesting than watching the same old tired nonsense of your stereotypical all-star game format? Well, now you can enjoy the festivities by either pitting one country against another or pitting a bunch of basketball players against each other in a format that nobody really understands or ever really asked for. It's just an exciting new way of polishing up the same turd while basically hoping that somebody is bored enough to pay attention. Will it work? Well, let's just say I'm already looking for things to do. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, your furnace has been working overtime lately. Gotta change them filters. Gotta go to Rocky's for basic pleated air filters. Buy 3, get 1 free. You know who else is moving in? Mice. You don't want mice in your house. You need mouse traps. They're on sale right now at Rocky's. The stuff you need around the house is available at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 8:11 and Queen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
And your Pioneer Valley forecast today, mix of sun and clouds, high of 33 perhaps. Tomorrow, maybe more of the same. It's either 10, it's either 6, or it's 4 in somewhere in western Massachusetts.
For those of you who are not on it already, Steve and I are streaming live on TikTok right now, so you can join at Nagle 102.
Yeah.
Hang with us visibly, and or just just close your eyes and pretend like we're actually on the radio.
Some guy just called us the funniest morning crew around.
Yeah, but think about who else is around.
There's nobody around.
There's nobody else around.
It's not like there's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah, right. That's like saying you're the biggest genius in the clubhouse.
Hey, maybe we can get some AI photos of ourselves, making us look all buff and neat. Hey, Valentine's Day, that's coming up, right?
Yeah, Valentine's Day is what is that? Friday?
Yeah,
Friday.
It's a nice thing about being single is I don't have to buy anything for anybody.
Yeah,
and I get my I get my daughter some, a little bit of chocolate or something like that. But I don't have to I'm saving. I'm saving left and right.
Yeah,
it's not having to worry about buying some, soul-sucking broad.
No, I know.
A gift.
Sometimes you have no idea how lucky you are. I mean, the loneliness, the sadness, and the lack of physical intimacy probably is all overshadowed by the freedom you must feel every single day.
You can do that all by yourself. You don't need anybody else.
See, now
you don't.
No, you don't. See, now I'm in a weird position because so Friday is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But our wedding anniversary is Sunday. So it's like, that's
like having a birthday around Christmas.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, do you celebrate like 2 different events, or you just make it like one big romantical festivity of a weekend?
You and your wife are reasonable people, so I think that you guys can come to an agreement that one gift is enough.
Yeah.
To celebrate probably the more important day of your wedding anniversary versus the commercialized Valentine's Day. There's a lot of people, I watch these videos and people are complaining about, I don't have anybody, the dating pool sucks. Be by yourself. You're saving yourself not only a heartbreak, but you're saving yourself money.
Steve, I'm a real big believer that sometimes fate just has a way of making things happen.
Yeah.
You don't always choose who you fall in love with, and sometimes you don't fall in love with that person when you're looking for it. You fall in love with someone when you're the least looking for it.
Listen, I'm the happiest I've ever been.
You seem pretty reasonably happy.
You know what? I had the marriage thing, went through some relationships, and you know what? I'm better off being by myself. Nobody wants to put up with me anyway.
You're a lot to handle.
I am
You're
a lot.
a lot.
To handle. I'm very much a lot to handle. And again, I'm saving money. But could your super thoughtful Valentine's Day gift backfire on you?
Of course it could.
Be careful if it's your first Valentine's Day together. What's your favorite bad Valentine story?
God, I can't believe we're doing this.
Someone asked people to name the top things that might scare someone off early in a relationship. So, if you're little newlyweds out there just dating for just a little while, going too big on Valentine's Day made the list at number 11. Here are the top things that can come on too strong too early in a relationship. Ready?
Sure.
Talking about baby names. You probably want to wait till your second date to do that.
No, you know what? I would say that's much later in the relationship.
Yeah,
you gotta be at least maybe this is my old fashioned way showing up. It's got to be at least a year before you can really start having that discussion.
Yeah.
Like, if we were to have babies, what do you think they look like? What would you call them? Anything before 12 months.
I'm too
is
old to
creepy.
have babies now.
Oh, I could never do it.
I'm beyond that.
I could never do it now.
Yeah, no. Can you imagine doing that whole getting up every night in the middle of the night and feeding the child and then having to spend time with them.
I don't want to. Listen, I don't want to have to diaper anybody so close to having to be diapered myself.
Talking about moving in together before you've even seen their place.
Yeah, you can't. That's really very presumptuous.
Well, I'm not talking about moving in.
I'm not trying to change your mind.
I can't remember the lyrics to the song. What is it? I'm not talking about moving in,
and I don't want to change your life.
There's a warm wind blowing, the stars around, and I really want to see you tonight. Really love to see you tonight.
That's it, boy. They don't get better than that song.
Blurting out "I love you" too soon. Yeah, that can ruin things.
Yeah.
When you say "I love you" and somebody says "thank you," then you know you've done it too soon.
Or ditto. That's not exactly a two-way street yet.
Or right back at you, big guy.
I love you. You bet.
Yeah, I bet you do. Telling other people you're a couple before you've agreed on that term.
It takes a little bit of time before you can agree that you're a couple, rather than we're just friends on a date.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more comfortable.
If a lifetime commitment is what you're really looking for, then what's the rush?
Yeah, right. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Don't rush into a lifetime commitment. It's a lifetime commitment. If it's meant to be, you'll get around to it. It's a lifetime commitment.
Calling them your. Did I just say that? Calling your soulmate? No, we didn't.
Soulmate?
Calling them your soulmate.
Yeah, you got to be. You got to be sure. So many times, circumstance has a way of lying right to your face.
Yeah.
When you think it's your soulmate, when you realize months later.
They're a soul stabber. They're a soul robber.
I've never wanted to put an axe between my soulmate's head before.
Asking to meet their parents.
Asking?
Asking. Can I meet your parents? I know we've only been on 2 dates, but I want to see where you come from.
It's hard for me to really judge who you are based on just my personal interactions with you. I'd much rather see the people that built this.
I don't know, though. When I was dating my wife, 3 weeks into it, we picked my mother up from the airport. That's a big commitment.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big commitment.
That's a big commitment, all right.
Getting upset if they don't respond to your text right away. That is probably one of the most annoying things about people.
My wife and I are usually fairly response to that.
Yeah, but she understands that you're doing something at that moment, and unless they say it's an emergency or I really need your response right now, she's not expecting you to just pick up the phone and respond right away, is she?
It all depends. I
Yeah.
mean, most of the times I've got my phone on me, so if I don't get a text, it's because I didn't get the notification. But 9 out of 10 times I'm going to respond within a minute or two.
How about asking to leave a toothbrush at their place, but you just started hooking up?
Yeah, no. You know what? Bring your toothbrush with you,
Yeah. but
take it with you when you leave.
I knew a guy who used a toothbrush from a girl.
Yeah.
And his justification was, well, we just had relations.
Wait, he put her toothbrush in his mouth?
Yeah. And his justification was they had relations, so, it's okay. I mean, they just swapped, God knows whatever.
Yeah, but
so so he felt, and then she revealed to him that it was, she goes, you used that toothbrush that was in the cabinet? That was the one that she cleaned her toes with. That's gross.
Just because you've had relations with somebody does not mean you should be using the thing they use to clean the tartar from in between their teeth for. I would have more of a problem accidentally using that toothbrush than if because I just grab another toothbrush.
Yeah.
I stock up.
That is disgusting.
That's if I use my wife's toothbrush, it's by total accident. Like I grabbed the wrong one, didn't even realize it.
Referring to their pet as our pet when talking to other people. That's a little rush.
That's a rush.
Posting too many photos of the two of you on social media.
Yeah, you know what? I think early on in a relationship, slow. Go slow with the social media, announcements. If you know what I mean. Like, don't say, I met my soulmate last night. No, you didn't. You met someone that you had fun with.
Too big, too soon.
You know what? You're going for a long bomb.
Right.
On first down.
A few more that just missed the top 10. Showering someone with too many gifts. I thought I was going to say showering with someone. That might be a little too soon if you're on the second date.
It depends.
Would you like to take a shower together? No, too many gifts.
Yeah.
The love bombing thing is a red flag. When somebody does that, like, too soon.
Well, there's a lot of stuff online about narcissistic relationships. Mm-hmm. And love bombing is one of those things that happens, much like gaslighting happens later on in the relationship. But love bombing is a way of a narcissistic relationship beginning.
So is making
you got to be very careful because those are in fact red flags.
Making a photo of them of your home screen on your phone.
Oh yeah, not right away.
Planning a vacation. Yeah, that's a little too.
That's yeah.
Changing your relationship on social media too soon. Because you're going to have to change it back once it doesn't work out because you showered them with too many gifts.
And that's embarrassing.
Going too big on Valentine's Day was number 11 on the list, but over half of single people think it's hard to strike the right balance on Valentine's Day early on. You want to do something, but you don't want to do too much.
That's actually really good advice.
Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day. If you had Valentine's Day and then 2 days later, I got a wedding anniversary. It's actually, in a way, very well placed. Because do I want to go overboard on Valentine's Day?
No. We just talked about that.
Exactly.
How you two are two reasonable people that, you're saving it for the big day anyway. The big day is the anniversary. I think that's the more important.
I do too.
Unless you put Valentine's Day above your wedding anniversary.
No, but one of the things that we do, and it's true of us, is like even though it's the wedding anniversary, neither one of us are looking to go real big on it. It's like we got other things to be paying for.
You know what?
Let's just spend some nice time together.
You've been together long enough. I'm sure a Dutch oven is probably a great gift for a Valentine's Day.
She loves it.
And then you knock her with your foot on the couch going, love you.
Yeah, I know. That's fun. That's a real relationship right there.
All right, cool.
It's 8:24 on Rock 102. It's 8:28 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Your forecast today from Chief Meteorologist Steve Nagle. Mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 33. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 30. See, it changed already. It was mix of sun and clouds an hour ago for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now it's cloudy. It's 10 or 6, depending on which one you want to look at.
Apple Watch says 16.
16.
Somewhere in the middle there.
Okay.
Hey, this will be fun. Join Pat Kelly and the road crew Saturday at the RV Camping and Outdoor Show at the Eastern States Exposition Grounds, Saturday, 2 to 4. Whether you're looking for your next RV, shopping for camping accessories, or scoping out new exciting campgrounds, or the outdoor experience, the show is something for everyone. I've been there. It absolutely does. It's a wicked cool event. Stop by, say hi to Pat, enter for your chance to win Pat Kelly's camping gear. It's this Saturday, 2 to 4 at the Big E with Pat Kelly from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
I'm looking forward to the camping with Pat Kelly.
I don't know about camping with Pat Kelly, but the last year when I went, we were looking at like campers, like not that we're in the position to upgrade at this point,
Right.
But there was like one where the sticker price was like right outside the door, and you say, "Ooh, $120,000 camper." Compared to ours, that's almost a fraction of the cost. I wonder what that looks like. And you walk in, and you're going, I don't need all of this. I mean,
You don't need all of it,
it's
but it would be nice to have.
like a multi floor castle with wheels.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
I told you I saw that one up at Camping World a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was like a mansion.
My big thing when we bought ours, and this is good advice for anyone who's interested in going down the RV route, because it's, you know what, it is a great thing to do. Look for one that's got plenty of space to move around in.
That's the one you want.
That's the key. It doesn't matter whether you got multiple floors or the bathroom's real big or whatever. It's like, can you move around comfortably with one or maybe two people in that camper?
Well, I mean,
if you can't, then you look for another one.
Well, this had like 2 bedrooms, well, 1.5 bedrooms, I guess.
It had a loft. Yeah.
And you'd have to crawl over to get to the bed. But so what?
Yeah, but I wouldn't crawl over there. I would use that space for storage. I would not use that space as the bedroom that it's purporting itself to be.
That's where you can put Pat Kelly as a stowaway because he's so tiny.
Yes, exactly.
You just put him right up there.
Yeah, the ability to move around. Good little advice from your Uncle Baxy
Well,
here.
there you go.
All right, it's 8:31. News is next on Rock 102.
Treat your Valentine at the 99 restaurants February 4th.
8:34 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Gary Rome Hyundai. Technicians get up to a $5,000 sign-on bonus right now. Learn more at GaryRomeHyundai.com/family. Here's Chief Meteorologist Steve Nagle.
Thank you, Bax, and also shadow traffic.
Are you the spy in the sky?
I'm the spy in the sky. I'm Mark the Shark. That's who I am.
Okay.
There's a 2-car crash on I-91 in Springfield that is causing major delays. 2-car crash on I-91 North in Springfield is causing delays this morning. The 22 News Skycam could see the right lane was closed to traffic, but it has now since reopened. But it's still a backup. According to Waze, the traffic was being backed up into Long Meadow.
Okay.
So
keep that in mind.
Stay away from I-91. The good thing is it is not a very heavily traveled route. So you don't.
Oh,
have to
really?
Yeah.
I-91.
I-91.
Long Meadow Curve area.
Long Meadow Curve area.
You're right. Nobody goes there.
The Wilbraham Police Department is reminding the public to be wary of suspicious activity in their neighborhoods after an incident on Rocheford Drive Monday afternoon. Wilbraham Police said that a resident called the Wilbraham Regional Emergency Communications Center. You mean 911. At around 2:45 p.m. on Monday, reporting suspicious individuals that had claimed to be solicitors. The solicitors.
No, you were right the first time.
I think it's solicator.
Nope.
Because they lick the window when they get to your door.
Right. Are
Are
you confusing it with Lipitor because of their high cholesterol?
That could be, too. The caller said that the two men exited a white sedan and walked up to his front door claiming to be working for the electric company. And they said, "Hey, you guys!" The men stated they were there to resolve a double billing issue. The caller asked for identification of the alleged solicitors, and the two men left. The caller told emergency services that he had seen the vehicle driving slowly through the neighborhood on Rocheford Drive earlier in the day. The caller had been unable to obtain the license plate of the sedan. Officers were able to locate a similar vehicle when checking nearby neighborhoods. After speaking with other residents, the two men are likely working for a solar company and might be legitimate. However, they are not licensed to solicit with the Wilbraham Police Department and are not in compliance with town ordinances.
I think compliance,
Whatever.
Steve.
All solicitors within
Solicitors have to be in compliance.
All solicitors within Wilbraham are required to be licensed by the police department and are issued individual credentials to be displayed while in town. So if you don't have a solicitor placard, placard. Wilbraham police said that the recent events have occurred similar to this one in other Western Massachusetts communities, where subjects will knock on the doors of the residents and break into the homes if nobody answers.
All right, here's a good bit of advice. If someone is going door to door, knocking on your door and looking to sell you something, you have the right, and probably should, say no. Even better, no thank you, because you should be polite about it.
If someone opens the door, the suspects will claim to work for a utility company to gain access to the home. Yeah, we're with Eversorts. Didn't you guys rob me in the mail last week when you sent the bill?
I mean, I'm already feeling a certain level of violation of this in this relationship.
It's kind of ironic that the Eversource people are telling you, hey, we have people that have placards on their car that would say we're from the electric company.
Yeah.
And we're not robbers. We're just scam artists.
It's totally different. A robber, when he robs stuff, you know it right away.
Yeah.
When you get scammed, you don't know it for quite a bit.
That's right.
Takes some time to be scammed properly.
At least we show it to you on a piece of paper. See, your electric, you only use about $90 worth, but the delivery charge was $600 this month.
But yet, you are still 5% below some of your neighbors.
I have never seen the Eversource guy out there with like a gerbil and a running hamster wheel generating electricity for each home. Now that would justify a delivery charge of $500.
Yeah, well, just in gerbil food alone.
Right. Well, yeah, bedding and a cage, water, all those things, toys.
Maybe a picture of Richard Gere behind the habit trail.
Oh, yeah, now you're asking too much.
What? He's a great actor.
Yeah, but they don't have
The Officer and a Gentleman. He was very good in that.
They don't have that kind. That's how they got that line.
What?
They asked the gerbil, "Why don't you just leave?" And the gerbil said, "I got no place else to go, except for the Richard Gere chum tunnel."
I want to eat cardboard toilet paper tubes. My grandmother wants to eat cardboard toilet paper tubes.
If someone approaches your door and you feel uncomfortable, please call 911 or the Western Mass Regional Communications Emergency Dispatch Center.
Hey, what's the number to that place?
I believe it's 911 times. 999.
Yeah.
999 999 999.
I don't believe that's it.
Are
I think
you sure?
It's just a simple 911. That's it.
Doesn't the phone company pick up on repeated numbers?
No, I just think those extra ones and extra nines takes you through their voicemail system, and it's just a rat race.
Well, I mean, let's see what else is going on here. Well, we talked about the Super Bowl. We talked about all that stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the fiance getting all mad.
Yeah,
stabbing the guy in the thing. Oh, there's really nothing else to talk about, Bax.
Nothing?
No.
I find that hard to believe.
Are you sure?
No.
Here's another reason why I wouldn't go on a cruise ship. Everybody is, hey, you got to go on a cruise sometime in your life. And, the idea of it sounds good.
Yeah.
Gastrointestinal illness broke out on a Royal Caribbean ship this past week. According to the U.S. CDC, nearly 100 passengers on board the Radiance of the Seas have been affected by the outbreak. Only 2 crew members have reported symptoms. The CDC did not specify what type of gastrointestinal this is. The symptoms reportedly consist of diarrhea and vomiting. The CDC said the Royal Caribbean has increased disinfection and cleaning measures and isolated sick guests and crew. The cruise ended Saturday.
You know, Steve, I understand your hesitance, but, I've been on a cruise, a good, 5-day cruise, 5 or 7. I think it was 5. And you know what? Nowhere during that cruise did I suffer any intestinal distress whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And I'm a guy who's got a long history of intestinal distress. And I got to tell you, I go back on a cruise. Hell yeah. Norovirus or no norovirus. Cruise life is fun life.
I'm sure it doesn't happen as often as you see it because it's, you're isolating the stories. But my luck, I would be the one on the cruise that either loses power and gets stuck out at sea for 3 weeks or has the gastrointestinal virus floating around the ship.
Or you could be the guy that has the time of their lives with wonderful offline excursions.
Yeah, I don't know about
very exciting and dynamic tropical parts of the world.
Hey, we go to hell in the Cayman Islands? No, we didn't go there, but I got gastrointestinal disease, so it was kind of like being in hell on a cruise ship.
Listen, if I had a gastrointestinal event and I just happened to be on a cruise ship, it ain't going to change how I enjoy my vacation.
Yeah,
I was there to relax, and that's all I'm looking to do.
There's a person on TikTok saying it does happen often. It just doesn't happen to everyone on the ship. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So one guy gets the juicies, and you're worried that's going to happen to you? Please.
Yes.
Come on.
Well, you're all touching the same doorknobs and door handles when you're walking in and out of these places throughout the ship.
Other than your cabin, there's no doorknobs anywhere. You just don't flush the public toilets with your teeth.
A horse in Colorado who found itself in a desperate situation was rescued by officials. The Pueblo County Sheriff's Office posted images of the rescue after the horse fell into a collapsed septic tank in Pueblo West. Rescuers said they arrived on the scene to find the horse's head and front hooves sticking out of the ground. See, this would have been a job for Linton Septic.
They would have pumped that pony right out.
You got a Duke the size of a horse inside your septic system? We'll suck it out for you. They quickly sedated her and worked her to pull her out using tow straps mounted to a truck. When she was finally pulled back above ground, rescuers say she was shaking from the frigid waters inside the tank. When the sedation wore off, the horse was fortunately able to get back on her feet and deliver a keg of beer to a bar from a Budweiser commercial during the Super Bowl. It's the same horse. The same horse drenched in septic delivered the very drink.
How I got a septic tank in my backyard. We had one when I was a kid. We always had septic issues. How the hell does a horse fall into a septic tank?
It's a collapsed septic tank.
It collapsed.
It collapsed.
Okay.
Yeah, they say you're not supposed to drive over those things with a car.
No, you're not.
Yeah. So imagine a horse that probably weighs just as much as a small car, I would imagine.
I don't know, man. I would probably avoid the septic tank area with a horse or a car or anything.
Yeah.
A trampoline. Last thing you want to do is jump on a trampoline and then you land right into a big giant 600-gallon bucket of waste. I wouldn't want that. I'd almost rather go on a cruise with you.
What, you'd rather get what would you rather have, gastrointestinal disease or riding a horse that just fell into a septic tank?
Well, I always wash off the horse.
I mean, kind of they're one and the same thing, aren't
they? In a way, I guess.
You're on a floating septic tank on the seas as opposed to riding one through a meadow.
Yes. Oh, you're right, 1,500 gallons.
That's a lot of gallons.
That's much worse.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be a mix of sun and clouds, maybe, with a high of 34. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 35. It is either 15 or nothing in downtown Spring. They don't even have
I got 18 over here.
18?
Yeah.
They don't even have the temperature on the TV anymore. Whatever. It's that's the news on Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:54, and Alice in Chains of Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds with a high at 34. It is anywhere from 6 to 15 in downtown Springfield. We don't know the actual temperature.
It's a Shop Tuesday here on Rock 102 this morning at 9 o'clock. If you go to rock102.com, you can start saving 30% off to see hypnotherapist Ruth Ann Lundeberg. That's today at 9 at the Shop 30 store at rock102.com. Don't miss out. That's a great deal. And she can be very helpful for you. So make sure you do that.
Somebody just said on TikTok, I miss Dave Coombs. What's your favorite time of the morning?
Yeah, we do too. It's there's no denying.
What part of this show do you feel like you're on a cruise ship with diarrhea? The whole thing?
Really?
What?
Because for those 7 or 8 months, it really felt like the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah. Oh, it's 19 degrees in Granville, by the way. These people are fun.
Yeah, there's a good crowd today.
TikTok people chiming in on all this stuff.
We don't go live on TikTok all that often, but when we do, it's usually like dead. But this has been a good bunch of folks.
We do need to make it a regular thing until they take TikTok away again, because it's going to go away.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. But yeah, you might as well make the most of it while you got it.
We're talking about the Valentine's Day thing earlier. This is something that will blow your partner away. Forget about flowers and chocolates. Subway has a new gift for your Valentine. Starting this week, started yesterday, the sandwich chain is offering buy one, get one free subs so you and your loved one won't be hungry this Valentine's Day. Didn't I tell you I went into a Subway like last year and I was because I was looking for something to eat. And I was going to get this like turkey avocado sub. I think it was a 6. No, it was a foot long. At least it was a foot long.
Right.
A foot long with drinks and chips and a drink for $16.99. And I walked out and I said, I'm not buying this. I'm not spending that kind of money on this kind of food.
Whatever happened to the $5 footlong? I mean, I realized that was a long time ago.
Listen, you can go to Frigo's where they're homemade sandwiches down there for less than, you can probably get one for around $9 to $12 depending on what you're getting. Mm-hmm. But at least you're getting a decent sized sandwich and it's homemade as opposed to the fake cold cuts they got going on over at these places.
Between the fake tuna and the Jared Fogle, Subway's had a little bit of a rough patch.
Fans can redeem the limited time deal by using the promo code FLBOGO. FLBOGO. You can... I don't know.
I don't even know.
On Subway's website and app, nearly all Sammys are eligible for the deal. Just the Beast 5 meat Italian and the garlic roast beef are not part of the discount.
Now, someone here's to say at Frigo's, $10 for the loaded roast beef sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It'd be a million times better.
And it's a homemade sandwich. It's not, it's not this rainbow-colored cold cuts. When they slice the roast beef and you got a rainbow film to the outside of it,
right?
That's not really roast beef.
It's got that same film you'd see with like detergents in the sink.
Don't forget about a sweet for your sweetie. Subway also introduced its Oreo footlong cookie on January 30th. The $5 dessert is not exactly a 12-inch version of the beloved sandwich. The treat is an Oreo-filled chocolate cookie topped with vanilla cream and more crushed Oreos. Again, you could probably get a box of Oreos and do it yourself.
I mean, or just get a whole bunch of Oreos and just eat them.
The limited-time chocolatey treat joins a lineup of other foot-long items. In 2024, they expanded its 12-inch offering. Yeah, they tell you it's 12 inches, but they're just like any other person.
It's like like the shower and goer of sandwiches.
Yeah, it does. And these people on TikTok, it sounds like Listeria. Yeah, well that's worth the buy one get one.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Listen, you can have diarrhea together.
What's your favorite loaded footlong story?
What's your favorite loaded footlong story? Was this turkey pregnant before it got out of here? That's enough.
It's 8:58 at Rock 102.
Hey, it's Pat Kelly, and I want you to